Hello, Mordimer's here, and today I would like to show you very unique game. Very unique, but still it was not, any offhand game. It was serious game in the tournament, and it was played in Nuremberg 1984 in Germany by Emil Joseph. And now, who was Emil Joseph? Most people haven't heard about that name, but Emil Joseph was quite strong chess master from Germany. He was born in 1908, and what he achieved before Second World War, he won with Alexander Alyekhin, and he won with Yefim Bogolyubov. Two very strong players, one world champion and one, we can say, number 2 in the world at that time. And he won in the simultaneous exhibitions, but still he won against such strong players. And then he got into the Nazi party, where he was a correspondent, chess correspondent from the tournament. So he went to many tournaments, wrote some in some chess magazines, and he worked as a propaganda about German players and so on. However, after Second World War, what is interesting, he started to win a lot of tournaments. So he won the tournaments in Netherlands, in Switzerland, in Germany. So he was definitely a quite strong player, not the grandmaster or international master on this class of player, but he was much stronger than amateur players. And I can estimate his strength at that time maybe was about 2300. It was like very solid middle class player. But the problem of making your life just by playing chess, especially not on the grandmaster level, just on the middle level, is not really possible. So he lost interest in chess for some time, and he started to be obsessed with Nostradamus. And he started to study all the centuries, and then he said that he broke the code of Nostradamus, so he can read the future and so on. So in 1965, just after 50 successes in chess, he got into the psychiatric hospital, and the doctor said that he cannot play chess. Okay, he cannot play chess because it's too much excitement for him, and he needs some silence for some time. And he came back to chess some 10 years later, and he won a couple of tournaments for seniors, and this is one of the tournaments he played. And I want to show you how to enjoy chess. Okay, and it's not like only 76 years old guy enjoy chess by playing unique opening, but he played unique openings for all his life. So I would just to show you what was his most famous opening. So usually he opened with d4, and after d5, e4. So this is actually called Blackmar Gambit, but in some sources Blackmar Diemer Gambit, because Diemer played a lot of this opening. And what is the idea? After d takes on e4, knight c3, knight f6, play f3. Here is the idea. So sacrificing the pawn for the rapid development, and it can be very dangerous. First, white gonna have this semi-open file, which can be very dangerous, but also have very strong attack. So imagine if black, for example, fianchetto the bishop, and white can play bishop g5, queen on d2, then followed by bishop h6, and this is already very known motif, then castle. And now look at all pieces. All pieces can just join the game. So the rook can join very easy the game. The knight can jump here. This knight also can jump and attack. The bishop also can attack here. So I'm just showing you a couple of arrows to make everything clear, that this opening can be transposed into very rapid attack on the black king's position. So especially if black want to castle on the king side. So that was what Emil Joseph usually played. And just short estimation of his strength, when he was 76 years old, probably he could have maybe around, I just estimate, I didn't find any information, any data, but maybe 2100, that's my private estimation. As if you see this game, he show a couple of very nice tactical hits, so that's possible that he's around 2100. And his opponent, we have no information about him, Thomas Heiling. We know only they play in the same tournament. We don't know his age. I didn't find any information, any pictures, any database scores. There is only one game, this game's in the database, so I have totally no idea. But he play in the same bracket, so probably his strength could be estimated as maybe, let's say 2000. Maybe 1900, but let's say 2000. So without further ado, let's jump into the game. Diemer open with d4, we have knight on f6, so this favorite opening can't be played here, but Diemer still play f3. We have d6, e4, g6, so King's Indian setup, and here g4. Bishop g7, and there is one game in the database from 21st century when we have h4 and very strong attack on the king side. However, here we have g5. Black, of course, can play knight on h5, but maybe not everybody likes some ideas like bishop on e2, winning the pawn on h5 and getting some position like that. So Diemer prefer more solid knight f on d7. We have f4, strengthening this pawn structure, and c5. So now challenging the center, but Diemer pushed d5. So no challenges here, and now b5. And b5 is a little trap, because bishop on b5 can't be taken. It can be taken because of this double attack on the bishop and on the king. And knight on c3 doesn't help, because bishop on g7 can take the knight, and black would win the piece and of course the game. So Diemer is of course too experienced for that kind of traps. He play c3. We have a6 and now h4, attacking on the king side. Knight on b6, making a space for the knight, but also preparing breaking the center by e6. We have h5 and now e6. And here Diemer don't care. First h6, so pushing the pawn and kicking the bishop, so bishop have to retreat to f8, and now a4, attacking on the queen side. We have e takes on d5, and now a5, so not even bothering to take back. First kicking the defender of d5, so a knight have to go back to d7, and only now e takes on d5. And what is the idea now? So look at this knight. This knight can't really move. These squares are taken, and also this square is taken, so it's also impossible. And the same with this knight. This knight also can't move. Can't move here, can't move here. Everything is taken, okay? Everything is controlled by white or by own pieces, so not really great position of the knights. So what black has to do is first develop the bishops and then try to make some space for the knight. So we have bishop on e7 and now c4, and here f6. And if Diemer now takes on f6, then he gonna open the Pandora box, because black gonna take it and all the pieces can just, you know, run out. And this king, look at this king, it's very poor king, still undeveloped, still not hidden in the corner. That would be quite dangerous. We have c takes on b5. And here Thomas Heiling play f takes on g5. With the support of the bishop and the queen, it looks pretty good. But Diemer is not interested in that. He play f5. So of course that would be not good, but this move is also not really great. And Diemer could actually play a much better move. For example, castle is good in this position, knight on e5 with the possibilities of developing the bishop and the knight later. This would be pretty good here, but he play g takes on f5, g takes on f5, so creating these two passed pawns. But look at the position. Do you see something strange in this position? As you see, white didn't move a single piece. Look at this. Look at this. All the pieces are still, you know, standing. And this is the tournament game. And, you know, Emil Joseph play this way. So this is why this game is called Immortal Pawn Game. And now we're gonna have first move not done by the pawn. So we have queen on h5. So moving, developing the queen with tempo because we have a check. So king on f8. And now knight f3, another move with tempo because now the pawn on g5 is attacked 3 times with the bishop and the queen and the knight. Rook on g8, defending, and now b6, creating this very annoying passed pawn. Look at this pawn. This pawn controls c7, this pawn controls c6. Not really great for black, especially black still can't develop these pieces. And now f4 would be the last chance for black to have some counterplay, some solid position. So f4, for example, rook g1, and then knight f6, kicking the queen, queen h1, and then something like g4, and black have very nice position, very nice attack against this king, and can probably win the game. However, Diemer he'll play bishop on b7, attacking the pawn. So just normal idea. We have knight on c6, and now knight on f6, attacking the queen. But the situation now is different. Now we have very nice tactic, knight g5. Not really complicated. The idea, of course, is jumping to e6. And if you look closely, it's not winning the queen. This is actually checkmate. Okay, all of these squares would be taken, so that would be a checkmate. So black doesn't have much choice. We have knight on h5, knight on e6, and king on e8, and knight d8. So black, of course, cannot take the knight. Taking the knight and rook takes on h5, and white have much better position here. So knight on g3, trying to win the exchange. And white don't have the choice because gonna lose the piece if move the rook. So knight on g7. We have knight on h1, winning the exchange, and now bishop on f4, attacking d6. So again, moving the piece with tempo, attacking the pawn twice. Rook on g6, defending, and still keeping an eye on g3. This is quite important because now this bishop actually controls escaping square from the knight, because knight can be trapped here very easily. So that would be not great. So this is why rooks still have to stay on g6. White castle, so the rook's coming to the game, and black don't want to wait. Knight on f2, attacking the rook. Rook e1, pinning the bishop, which is quite dangerous because now d6 is under attack. And now what to play as black? According to the engine, king f7 is much better, and the game can continue with king on f7. However, here we have king on d7, which is more logical move, because king just coming to c8, take the knight, and then what can go wrong? But Diemer shows that even he's 76 years old, he still remember how to make a good tactical hit. So he play knight on b5, bang! And this is so good move. Now, what's the threat here? The main threat is knight on c5 with check, and then this pawn on b6 can move to b7, attack the rook, and this knight actually controls a7. And moreover, the knight can't be taken. The knight can be taken because of a checkmate net. Look at this. This bishop controls these squares, the knight controls here, Also the pawns controlling. So there is not much here. This is the mating net. The only move is king on c8, and now rook e7, and checkmate is coming on c7. This is a checkmate. So if black plays something like, I don't know, knight on a6, then rook e8 with check, king b7, and now we have a checkmate. So not this way. Knight on c6 with the idea of blocking, it also doesn't work. Because rook e8 and blocking, yes. The problem is, of course, rook d8, and now this is a checkmate as well. So knight on b5 is, of course, untouchable. Black can't capture that. This is why we have knight on e4 by Thomas Heiling, defending c5, extra defender. That makes sense. So Diemer just simply play rook takes on e4, sacrificing yet another exchange. And if black actually take it, there is not only the problem with taking on c5 and b7, there is another problem. Bishop on h3, and now that would be a check, and all of this is, as you already know, taken, and black would be in a lot of troubles here. So we have rook on g1, but now white can retreat to e1. And now black just want to simplify the material because the knight is still under attack. So first rook takes on f1, rook takes on f1, and a takes on b5. And believe me or not, but in this position material is totally equal, but white have still a lot of advantage. Of course, we have rook on g1, and the threat is really easy to spot. We have king on c8 attacking the knight, but knight, of course, can attack on d6. So we have knight d6, bishop d6, bishop d6, and knight d7, developing the knight, but it's already too late. Rook g8, king on b7, defending the rook. Now rook on g7, king c8, defending the knight, and now rook h7 simply. And now this pawn gonna march and win the game, and black has nothing to do about that. So we have rook on a8, and now white can win many ways. So the easiest one, of course, is rook on d7, and then promote to the queen and win the game. But here we have b7, which is, of course, the same effect. If king d8, then it's actually very fast checkmate. Rook h8, knight f8, the only move. And now just promote king d7, and that would be a checkmate. So not possible. King b7, this is what was played in the game. But now, of course, rook on d7 with check, king c8, h7. We have rook a1 attacking the king, king c2, and now rook could go to h1, but it doesn't make any difference. It's still losing because rook g7, and yeah, black has to play anything, and this is just winning the game. So for example, king d7, promoting, and this is definitely winning. Extra rook usually is enough to win. So we have king on d7, we have promotion to the queen, king d6, now queen d8, and after king e5 d6, Thomas Heiling resigned the game. So yeah, that's the game, and I hope you enjoyed. And as you see, you can enjoy chess without knowing all these complicated lines, memorize all the openings. You still can be very strong player without that. This is what Emil Joseph Diemer show and prove in his life, that chess can be enjoyable even with the fancy openings like he used for most of his life. So very interesting person, very interesting game he played. I call it Pawndemonium. And if you like it, press like. If you don't like for some reason, press unlike. Maybe leave the comment what games you would like me to cover. And as always, this game is still covered in Lichess in the studies section. So link in the descriptions. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.